I just got hit in the face by a lanternfly. That was not cool. So today we are at the Trexler Environmental Center again. Last time I showed you my little loop that I usually do. This time we are going to do the longer border trail, 8.5, 9 miles. I've only done it once before, so we will see what we'll see today. So the border trail, you can tell it's a border trail because of the red triangles. And then you have the Trexler Environmental Center over there. Eventually that loop's going to come around and come up that way. So it's a nice cool day. There's a sort of a thunderstorm later on today, but hopefully we'll beat it. Getting to the fall season, so the walnuts are out. That's a walnut tree. They have this black goo inside of them when you open them up. They actually used those as inks in the early days. So if you're hunting for walnuts, like the closer to fall you get, the shells break apart and you can get into the nuts pretty good. So the environmental center is up that way, and it kind of went down down across the Pack House Road, and it heads up here by this is the Kids Peace building. So it kind of goes up around the area. We're about 3/4 of a mile in. Those guys are doing pretty good, especially in a place like this that has a lot of milkweed, because that is like their primary food source where they lay their eggs. So they usually do a migration down to Mexico. And I read a report the other week about how it's the first time in years that their population has actually grown. The last couple of years it's kind of increased a little bit, which is a good sign. There's a bunch of those yellow butterflies flying around me. Kind of all over the place in between the grass here. You get a really cool view of the valley from up here. One of the definite downsides to being the first person to walk on any trail in the morning is the amount of spider webs that is just like consolidating on my face. I'm like wiping it off every 30 seconds or so. I smelt something really furry musty a minute ago. I was looking around. I had ran into a fox. The last time I was here, I came up over a ridge and he was kind of walking on the trail towards me and took off. I'm just kind of keeping an eye out and seeing if I see anything. A little chipmunk sitting on a log. This whole area in here is really beautiful. It's there's a whole lot of old growth white pines down there. A nice little resting bench. We're gonna walk across this bridge. Boy, the water is low. You can definitely see the banks outside of Jordan here. Got a deer enjoying his lunch. they had this food plot set up. This isn't farming corn. It's not for, you know, a tractor to come here. It's literally set up as a food plot for the deer and the other wildlife that might eat the corn. It's a wildlife management tactic. Game Commission uses that too. So sometimes when you're hiking on top of the mountain in Game Commission lands, you'll see a cornfield in the middle of the mountain. So we're at the 3-mile mark, and a squirrel jumping around over there. If you saw my other Trexler video with my other loop that I usually do, you'll recognize this covered bridge. So this is where those two trails kind of link up. Somebody got himself a fish. So we're about 3 miles into it now. According to my trail thing, it was like, if I remember, like when I did it before, my old GPS said it was closer to 9, but that map back there said 8.4, so I guess we'll figure out what it is when we get to the end. But either way, it's a good day for a hike. It's not too hot. The sun's not beating down and killing us, so that's always good. This cool little spring. Yeah, this little nuts are falling. Bird observation area. Nothing going on right now. Now I kind of remember why I do this hike in the fall, in the winter. Because it gets thick. Lots and lots of brush. The trail is just, if you look back there, the tiny little sliver. Oh my. That's a walnut tree right there. And if you notice, there's a horrible, horrible infestation of lanternflies. Look down there. See them all. That is Pennsylvania's newest blight. Oh, that's ironic. Look, there's a gypsy moth crawling right next to them. But those are lanternflies. And they really like the tree's called Tree of Heaven. You know, stuff like that. But yeah, nastiness. That is the newest blight and Pennsylvania's invasive species. They have found, however, that there is a fungus. They found this fungus in just outside of Reading that was killing these things. So they're looking for a way to. It's a native fungus too, so it's not going to be harmful to any wildlife that's here. So they're looking for a way that they can use like a kind of like a bio pesticide, you know, a natural pesticide to kill these suckers. Come up to this cool little bridge. Have a little picnic area too. This ain't too far off that one road we were at. And that would be a bug that I saw. So maybe if I turn the camera like this, it looks flat. But it's not. It's one or two of these hills that are really kind of a slog. On the bright side, at least it's breezy. Even though, you know, it's a heck of a climb. So, whew, sweating. Everything was nice and cool and non-sweaty until I got to this hill. So if you do need to take a break after that nice little hill climb, they do have these shelters, which is good. I took a little resty poo. It's really sad to see that whole entire stand of trees just completely destroyed by gypsy moths. We're coming down this. Oh. I just got hit in the face by a lanternfly. That was not cool. And to top it off, I got that on video because reasons. Anyway, as I was saying, coming down this cool little hill here, some of the landscapes around here are really neat. You know, it's not something you commonly see in a lot of places. So the trail comes down this hill. It crosses the white and green trail, which is this gravel road. If you don't want to go up the hill, you can actually take the white and green to the green and back to the border trail. You're going to cut off like 1.5 miles doing it that way, and you don't have to kind of do this thing. But because we're doing the border trail, up we go. So I was running short of time a little bit here today, so I decided to take a shortcut. So I hopped on the yellow trail. Cuts about 3/4 of a mile off the trip. The red trail goes up the side and then up and over that hill back there. But I'm trying to beat the clock here a little bit. I only have about an hour to get back to the van, so cut some corners, but still a nice hike. This trail is not as well groomed as the border trail is, but we're gonna meet back up at the border trail soon. Coming back down to this road, we are right there, about a mile from the parking lot. Going back in the woods, thank God, because walking on that field is just crazy hot. There's no shade, the sun beating down. So yeah, this will be a welcome blessing. Lots of jewelweed. Covering both sides of the trail here. Pretty flowers. So those are the bison pens. Like I said, my other loop, if you watch my other video, I come down that road and then go down past the elk pens, and this is where the border trail hooks up to it. So the border trail is gonna split off to the left up here and then head back to where I parked. So we're coming up on the environmental center again, where I parked. So that's about it. All in all, it's about 8.5 miles with a little yellow shortcut. So it's probably gonna be like 9.5 miles, maybe a little more if you take the red trail completely. So yeah, it was nice. Saw lots of birds, deer, ducks and stuff. So lots of wildlife as usual. Lots of bad stuff too. Tons of lanternfly flying around. But yeah, definitely come check it out. Just to warn you, it is kind of weedy. You know, make sure you check yourself for ticks. I check myself pretty often as I'm going through this, so didn't get any on me, which freaking amazes me, actually. But yeah, if you like this video, check out my other videos. You know, subscribe to me I'm on Twitter at Downhex on Twitter, Moxie79 on Instagram, or you know, if you have any questions or comments or suggestions of places to go, feel free to email me at downhexhighway@gmail.com. So until the next video.